All right, 3, 2.
Look at us. Who's better than us right now? Monday morning. I think it's 27, maybe 28 degrees outside here in Eastern Canada. Um, Phenomenal weekend. Just head to toe. Great weekend all around in terms of sports, in terms of family, in terms of weather, in terms of friendship, in terms of everything. I got to see family, got to see friends, got to play golf, got to watch golf, and got to witness some other sports. It was overall head to toe. Apparently, it's not even summer. I was going to say it was a great kickoff to summer, but I guess we're still we're in spring still. But either way you look at it, outside, to me, it's summer. Got home, I'd say around 4 or 5 o'clock last night. Played awful. Not what am I saying last night? 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Played awful at Granite. I think I shot a Gretzky 99. It was the worst. You're at the point where it's laughable. But that's the thing about this podcast is that you have to tell that you got to be honest. So yeah, I played awful. It's not a representation of who I am as a person or who I am as a golfer, but yeah, I did shoot a Gretzky, and I'm gonna sit here and take it like a man and move forward. But with that being said, I don't want to golf anytime soon. Like I'm still a little upset about it.
Wow, really?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm pretty upset about it. So I came home and watched like some motivational videos and stuff on business, stuff like that.
Did you
So
really?
yeah. I thought about throwing the clubs like off the highway, just like giving them to someone else. It's just
But you didn't triple digit. Couple,
no. I shot a 99. Yeah,
couple foot wedges in there.
no footway, maybe a couple, sure. But yeah, came home and I just wasn't myself for sure. You had to take, you get out of the shower and you just look at yourself in the mirror and you go, who are you? Are you the guy who I think you are, or are you just another guy?
Did it feel like you lost a big game, even though there was
Yeah.
nothing on the line?
Well, that's the thing with golf. It's an individual sport. You're out there by yourself. You're grinding. You're in the heat. You're in the humidity. You're out there with the mosquitoes, with the bugs, with the insects. It's you, and it's you versus you. And I lost yesterday. I wasn't a winner. I lost. I shot a Gretzky, and I got a lot of thinking to do. I spent a lot of money on these clubs, a lot of money on these memberships and hats and shoes and balls and tees and towels and beer and water, and
Carts.
I got a lot of thinking to do. So I just had to get that off my chest. I had to tell someone. I told Sarah, but she didn't get it. But I had to tell someone, so I'm telling you, and hopefully people listen to this and they know, and we'll move on. But speaking of the complete opposite end of what I did yesterday, there was another Canadian out there that had a moment that will last the rest of his life. Nick Taylor won the RBC Canadian Open in Toronto, a Canadian from Winnipeg. Now, there's a lot of things out there, a lot of stories about the American dream of going to a country, winning, making money, yada, yada. But one thing you don't really hear too often is the Canadian dream. And I often think about myself in that situation of what the Canadian dream is. And it could be very similar to the American dream. Very well could be. But in terms of success in the Canadian dream, I think it has to do with winning in your own backyard. I think it has to do with representing your country to the best of your ability in other aspects of life, and especially against competing against other countries, like whoever else was on the field on the PGA Tour. Tons of Americans. Tommy Fleetwood's from, I think he's just British. Just being able to win. Canadians kind of have that jokey mentality of, oh, he's a Canadian, he'll be all right, laugh it off. I don't like that. He's a Canadian, oh, he's polite, dude. It's all right if he loses. I don't like that stuff. And to win yesterday in that field where there were some great golfers, some world-class golfers, and I don't know how many PGA Tour events are in Canada per year.
I think just one.
Is it just one?
Yeah.
Is it just the one in Toronto?
Yeah, maybe two, but I'm pretty sure just one.
That was big. That was really big. That was a historical moment in not just Canadian golf history and Canadian sport history, I think. I don't know the history of golf too well. I did look up the last time a Canadian won the PG or the RBC. It wasn't even called the RBC, but the Canadian Open was, I think, 1952 was the last time a Canadian won.
I think it was 69 years ago.
Is that what it? Okay.
Yeah.
So either way, just to have that on the resume now as a Canadian winning, that's incredible. I don't know what the state of Canadian golf is, but looking from the crowd yesterday, I'd say Canadian golf is doing pretty well, and having a Canadian like Nick Taylor win is only going to make the sport go up and up and up. So it was incredible to see, and then the buddy got tackled there at the end.
Oh yeah, Hadwin.
It was Hadwin.
Yeah.
For like Canadian security, not Canadian. I shouldn't say Canadian security, but we've had the issues with like the border coming back. They're tough on us at the border coming from the States, and you just hear these stories of Canadian security being so above and beyond, and then just to have the whole world watch Hadwin get tackled by that security guard, and it was quite impressive. Like it was hilarious, but that security guard. Too bad that wasn't an actual fan.
Yeah.
If it was a fan, it would have been impressive. Like the security guard would have been the hero.
Yeah.
But since Hadwin's on the tour, the
idiot.
security guard looks a little bit like an idiot.
Yeah.
But good for I'm pretty sure Hadwin just got up and laughed.
Yeah, that's what Big Cat said. He's like, this guy really thought he was doing something in the moment.
Yeah,
like,
he
thought
did.
he was making a major play here, but no, just awful.
Which he would have been, but
Yeah.
like it's a guy on tour. You got to know that. And where's a fan just going to get a random bottle of champagne? Obviously, the guy's in some sort of VIP tent to grab a bottle of champagne.
Yeah.
But let's put everything aside. What a tackle! Because there's a great view of it from when he comes around.
Yeah.
Nick Taylor and just tackles the guy. Like his speed. He must play some sort of college football or at least high school football. He has some sort of athleticism. You don't make moves like that just by sitting on the couch every day. He's played some high level of competitive sport.
Yeah.
And he got him.
Probably rugby or football.
I saw Justin Thomas tweeted out like man down, like just chirping him.
I know it puts like the eyes on Canada though in this event. Like I saw one of the Schefter, one of the guys who does like the NFL Insider, like guy with like 4 million followers on Twitter, and he was like quote tweeting the RBC Canadian Open saying like this is the best angle, and it was the one you were talking about.
Yeah,
so,
it was in 4K.
Yeah, it's like moments like that do kind of put a little bit more of a spotlight on what would just be a regular PGA weekend.
And it was great to see, there was a couple par threes there where they had hockey boards around the back, and they had people, some golfers went up and they were like, all right, let's go, let's bang the boards here, let's have a little fun. And then some golfers didn't like it, but it was just cool to see the overall energy of the golf course on TV. TSN, I'll give them credit. They did a great job with the broadcast. Like they golf broadcasting isn't, I don't think, easy because there's not a lot happening at once, but if you're able to switch these camera angles and get some good crowd reactions and get the camera in the right people's faces, you can make it a really entertaining broadcast. And they did a great job. I think TSN, it was on TSN. Maybe it was CBS that filmed it, and then TSN took the broadcast. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, that's how they usually do it for any broadcast. It's just it's like lended to TSN to do. But I didn't know if the Canadian Open, if they had like access to do their own thing, or if it was if it was CBS who came in and did it. But either way,
such a great so if you are right on that, where it is only one event in the PGA Tour in Canada a year, what a great way to finish. A Canadian winning in, I think, triple overtime. I don't know what you call it when it goes to extra rounds.
Just a shootout, right?
Is this a shootout?
Yeah, extra holes. Yeah.
But it's in Canada, so you should call it overtime.
Yeah, exactly.
But just, and Tommy Fleetwood, he's a big golfer. That's a big name. That's a Nike sponsor. That's Tiger's guy. So it's just kind of cool to see him go head-to-head with that guy. Also, speaking of Tommy, class. There was a couple times where Nick had a great chip, and he chipped it, within 3 feet of the pin or whatever, and Tommy would look over and just give him the thumbs up, like, nice shot. And then when Nick sunk the 72-foot putt, there was a camera angle right on Tommy Fleetwood, and they showed his reaction, and he just smiled and just laughed. That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's a great way to finish. And I think I'm not going to say that, class in sports is dying. It is what it is, but just to have a competitor in Canada who loses and have a smile on his face, that makes the that makes the story just even a little bit cooler, knowing the guy was, whatever, it is what it is. He didn't lose to a 72-foot putt. He lost to fate.
Yeah.
That's what the guy said on the broadcast. He's like, he lost to fate. He didn't lose to 72-foot putt. It's
true.
It is what it is.
And I think he's still looking for his first win on the PGA, Fleetwood.
Is he?
Yeah. He's always sniffing around. So this is just like another one of those heartbreaks for him. But clearly he was okay with it, I suppose, this time.
Such an interesting way to make a living, how you can lose, finish 16th, and still make $100,000.
Hems, man, he's still making millions off that second place. But yeah,
but man, it's tough. Golf is tough.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah, and you want to give your opinions on the merger, right? I can. Man, it's so out of my pay grade. But we spend all this time talking about golf. It's kind of odd just to ignore.
Yeah, it's fair. I'm not ignoring it. All I can do is put myself in the shoes of the guys on the PGA that were true to the brand and didn't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
A pizza party's not going to do it.
Yeah.
I need to be compensated millions and millions and millions of dollars in order for me to compete against Phil Mickelson again, in order for me to compete against DJ again, in order for me to compete against Brooks again. If I'm on the PGA Tour and I'm a top 5 player, top 10 player, even if I didn't get an offer, I'd lie. I'd be like, yeah, I got an offer, 80 mil. I at least give me 50.
Yeah.
I got an offer. Maybe it's not on paper, it's not documented, but I got an offer.
Yeah.
You can't. I understand money talks, bullshit walks. I 100% get that. But you're talking about generational wealth. You're talking about money that's going to set your great grandchildren up. And you'll do anything to protect that. You'll do anything to protect your legacy. It's not even about golf at this point. It's about personal.
Well, how many times in sports ever, I'd be curious, have we seen people literally miss out on $300 to $800 million?
Maybe soccer, maybe.
Just from what we know, it's at least 104, what is that, 1.4 billion? 300 to Rory, 800 to Tiger. I think it was around 300 to Hideki. So right there, man.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you are Tiger and if you are Rory, whatever, you're not going to get the bag from the PGA guys. You're going to get the bag from the LIV guys. So you just go, okay, we're merging. Oh, that's awesome. But I still want my money that was guaranteed to me. If I'm, because technically Tiger Woods technically now is playing for the LIV Golf Tour.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Man, so what's it going to be called? What's the tour going to be called? The PGA
I don't know,
Tour
but
still?
I doubt the LIV guys are going to come back and say, "Oh yeah, all that money we guaranteed you, here it is."
No,
contracts don't work like that.
I agree with you, but that's where my stance would be. You need to shoot for the moon and land among the stars. You need to shoot for that 800 million and then end up with 500. You need to shoot for the stars. No, you need to shoot for the moon and land among the stars in that situation. And you need to hire some great lawyers, I don't know, some auditors, something, to be able to find you some millions. Because there's millions right now in the golf world just lying around. There's millions over here, a couple mil over here. Who's this guy? Okay, he has there's millions of dollars laying around in the golf world right now. It's just up to the smartest people in the sports industry to go find it for their clients.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't have a strong opinion on it. It's just, I don't know what's right and what's wrong in that world, but I do know what the PGA, who's the commissioner there, buddy? Bringing up 9/11, that's dog shit. You can't do that. That's American propaganda.
Yeah.
You can't be not that 9/11's propaganda. That's not what I meant. I meant you can't be bringing up the past and blaming it on a LIV Golf Tour. That's low. That's very, very, very low. You look terrible.
Yeah. Well, we never see leagues merge like this, in to the 2020s or whatever. It's unheard of. The NHL did it way back in the day when they did the NHL and the WHA. The NFL did it with the AFL and the NFL. All these mergers happened, 60 years ago. So it's just unheard of to see it happen in 2023.
Yeah.
It's just, no one would have expected this. a year ago, we were probably sitting here talking about the rivalry between the two.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see the financial growth of golf in the past 5 years, just with the pandemic and how much popular it's become. It'd be interesting to see how much more money these television networks are bringing in through advertising. Because I know I wasn't watching golf on TV 4 or 5 years ago.
you weren't even playing golf.
I wasn't even playing golf.
No.
But think about companies like Titleist, Callaway, TaylorMade, Vice. I don't know if they make clubs, but you know, all these companies out here that are making golf equipment. I'd love to see their income statements for sure, because they're definitely raking billions and billions more than they were 4 to 5 years ago. And you know, and if there's more people playing, that means there's more people watching, and if there's more people watching, that means there's more dollars coming in on advertising.
Did anyone else benefit as much off the COVID pandemic, or people sitting around for those like pandemic than golf? Like in terms of sports, let's leave all the other stuff out of it. But sports, nothing blew up bigger than golf.
No, because you could still play it. It was outside. All you had to do was leave the fans at home. So I don't even know if they shut it down for more than a couple months.
Yeah.
I know they were still playing in Europe for a while. They were still could watch it. Exactly. Yep. No, golf. That's a good point. Golf has benefited tremendously off this thing we like to call the pandemic.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Really great investment though by Liv.
Is it?
Yeah. Think about it. Liv's going to have the best players for years and years and years and years. The best players coming up. If they've truly partnered, from what they're saying, with the PGA Tour, which is deeply, 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 deeply embedded into American culture, golf culture. The PGA Tour, man, that is the gold standard for golf. Every single tour probably wants to tour. I want to partner with the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour. That's the NHL. That's the NBA. That's the NFL. Well, maybe not. You can't compare it to the NFL, but it's the PGA Tour. It is deeply embedded with history of America.
Yeah,
which is a powerhouse when it comes to sport. We just got back from there.
It is sport. Yeah, that place revolves around sports.
Going into rinks with 10 ice pads in it.
Yeah,
people love sports in America.
Yeah.
And in 3 letters like PGA, that has the history of some of the greatest, if not, well, not some, all the greatest golfers of all time. And for Liv to come in, how long's Liv been around? A year?
Yeah, but all Liv is doing is just like basically getting bought. In my, like, if they just keep it called the PGA, like, what are they really benefiting? Like, they'll make money, but it'll just be like another side company being.
Well, that's all I said. I said it's a hell of an investment.
Yeah,
that's all. It's a hell of an investment.
Just to be part of the PGA, even if Liv dies, and the format and all the teams and all the TV deals and all the YouTube streams, all that dies, you're just saying they're happy to just be attached to the PGA name at this point.
Yeah. Well, they're happy to be making billions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how it plays out. I mean, you know.
Yeah, that's a good
Companies
point.
do get bought, and then, you know, it goes down the tube. So it might just be PGA, like playing dick swinging contest and buying them out.
I've always wondered of a guy that's sitting there that has, $600 million in his bank account. Does he really need to fight for $500 million more? I've always, how do you get up off a couch with that much money in your account and go, I need this much more? I need half, that's.
Yeah, probably depends on the person. Right?
Yeah,
everyone's different.
No, even I don't even. That's way too much. Let's say you just have like $60 million. Like, do you really need to get up off the couch and go, you know what I need?
Yeah,
I need $80 million more. Like how? Like how much is how much?
But like,
how much do you need?
Life is kind of about the drive, right? The drive. It's like you make this much. All right, I've reached the peak. But then when people reach the peak, they get bored. And
that's fair.
You know what I mean? So you're always just pushing. Like, oh, I made 60 mil. How do I turn that into 100 mil? So, and you don't make 60 mil unless you're a motivated individual. So if you can make that much,
that's a good point.
May as well just keep pushing it, right? I did listen to this interview yesterday with Caleb Presley with Marshmello, the EDM guy, huge. And he goes, how much money do you have? And he goes, I honestly have no idea.
Really?
He just has so much money. He doesn't even know how much it is anymore. He just knows he'll always just have money.
Really?
Yeah. Imagine just not knowing how much money you have.
No, I can't imagine that. But yeah, that's my stance on it. If you're on the PGA Tour and you didn't take the live money, you got to go find that money because you're owed something. Just make sure you go get it.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather. I really don't know too much about this. I woke up and it was my morning coffee video. Is still fighting apparently. He fought John Gotti III. The fight was over. The final bell was rung, but this Gotti individual still wanted a piece of Floyd Mayweather. Goes back to the point I just made. How much money is how much money? Like Floyd.
Oh man,
you know, like,
yeah, he's on another level.
Like how much money is how much money? Why are you in a ring fighting a guy named John Gotti III?
Yeah, well,
for money.
Well, Floyd's known for being notoriously bad with money and stupid, so he might actually need it. But yeah, it is absurd to think a 50-0 professional boxer is doing exhibition matches at 50 years old to make a couple mil.
Yeah. Yeah, I was mind blown. Like I woke up, I was like, "Oh, this must be an old clip." I was like, "No, it was last night." Yeah. So that shocked. That was mind blowing.
Yeah. Did you see the UFC? Speaking of Canada, was in Canada for the first time since the pandemic this weekend.
Wait, where was it?
Vancouver.
No way.
The UFC, Dana White, everyone pulled up. Amanda Nunes retired, a legend of the female game, retired right on Canadian soil. Oliveira, he was probably the other big fighter on the card. He took care of his guy. It was a big event. They say they're going to go to Toronto. So
the GSP there? Was he in the crowd?
I don't think so. No. He should have been, though. If he wasn't, maybe he was.
That sport is one of the most, like, tremendous amount of respect for the people that do that. How can you imagine if you were a fighter and you're sitting there in the waiting room or the dressing room? And it's like, all right, Jeff, you're up. And as you're going out, you're watching the guy that just got knocked out come out on a stretcher and getting, and he's about to go to the hospital. And now, all right, Jeff, you're up. Yeah. Good luck, buddy.
And you're only doing it for $15K.
Is that no?
Yes, dude. If you're not on the top of those cards, it is a huge thing in MMA how little they make. If you fight 4 times in a year and you're on the bottom of the card, you'll make like $100,000 4 fights. It feels like a big stage because you're in front of everyone. It's the UFC, but they have so many people on the roster, and Dana White, in my opinion, is such a scumbag that these people just get, they get buried. And they're, like you said, to get knocked out for a living. So it's a bit of a weird sport in that sense. But that's what they do because they go and they fight for the performance bonus because if you get knocked out of the night, you get $50K on top of what you got for winning or showing up. Oh. So if you show up and lose, like you're making very little money. If you go up and have a sick knockout, you can make $65K and that could change your entire year. So that's why these guys go out and like swing for the fences because they're trying to get that extra 50 if they know if they don't, they're only making 20.
Yeah, tremendous amount of respect for those guys. That job just got even harder.
Yeah.
The amount of discipline you have to do that, not even physical, but just mental. Just knowing that you have to go out there and literally fight for your life. Make no mistake, you can die in one of those matches. I don't know if it's ever happened recently, but you can. There was actually a boxer that got hit on the side of the head like a year ago, and now he's paralyzed, I think, and just like that, it's just so scary. That's something you just need to have a different thing in you.
Definitely.
It's just one thing I don't have in me. You have to have, even just going out for like that rough and rowdy thing. Like I can't. I'm the biggest pussy there is. I would never.
Well, you fought in before, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's when you're just like fighting in hockey is you're pissed off. I can't sit in a dressing room and go, all right, Justin, you're up. You got to go fight now. I'm not pissed off. I'm sitting there. I'm comfy. Probably having a coffee. Like I don't want to go fight.
You never have any desire to just let your anger out and go wail on someone legally?
Yeah. Who hasn't?
There you go. These guys get to do that. All the rest of us would be caught with an assault charge.
But that guy didn't do anything to me.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
Like I can't get upset. It has to be personal.
But the adrenaline aspect of it, like when you were in those hockey fights, I'm sure your adrenaline is just through the absolute roof. It's just the same with them. Like you go into that ring, that bell rings. It doesn't matter who you're across from. Your adrenaline's kicking in and you're swinging.
It is true.
Right? I was in fights when I was in junior high, and all I remember was just not remembering anything about the fights after.
Yeah, you black out. Even if you don't get knocked out, you black out. You just go into a rage mode.
Yeah, and then you look in the wall, and there's a mark in the junior high locker room wall, and you're like, oh, that was from our fight. I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, you got to be a different beast to be able to go do that. Crazy.
Yeah.
Went to a Wanderers game this past weekend. Tremendous. Haven't been in a while. My friend called me. When was the game? Saturday, I think. Maybe shot me a text around 10 a.m. Said the game's at 2. Do you want to come? He had like a private box. I was like, absolutely, let's go.
Hey.
I don't know too much about soccer, but great event. You don't really need to know too much about soccer to have fun there. It was really good for like networking, really good just to get out and see the city. And there's a passionate fan base. People go nuts when they score. They have these blue flares, and whenever they score, they light these flares up, and you can't breathe for a minute, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
And after the game, you're walking to the car, and you see the players, and they're like signing autographs and stuff, and like there's a true passionate fan base here for the Halifax Wanderers. And I haven't been in 2 to 3 years. I forget the last game I was at, but I was impressed. It was really not the game was good, sure, but the overall fan experience I thought was great. There was no lineup for beer. There was never a lineup for food. There was never a lineup for the washroom. Like everything just ran really smoothly. I know that the owner's trying to get a new stadium because they don't have running water and things like that. But for the time being, I had no complaints.
Dude, what a spot, downtown there. Like like where they're located.
And we went, and it was raining for a bit, but I didn't care. I was still having a great time. It was awesome. There was no complaints. I met a lot of cool people. I didn't spend a ton of money. Well, actually, I didn't spend any money. It was on the company.
Our company or their company?
The company. Got my buddy's company that I was with. But no, nonetheless, it was just a great overall experience. I don't know how many more games are left in the year, but I'm definitely going to try to get back, especially if we got that box again. But it was, it was a great time. You should go.
Yeah. I've been haven't had the box experience, but I've been amongst the fans, and it is nice. Did they have like drinks and food in the box, or was it kind of like you had to go down? What was it?
Yeah, he was supposed to order pizzas, but he put the order in too late. So the lady was like, no, you put the order in too late, so you're not going to get the pizzas. So he just had the company credit card, and then we went to Bud the Spud, saw Dickie.
Oh, nice.
And then we just bought like 8 cheeseburgers, 8 fries, and we brought them back, and everyone just kind of munched on the burgers. And
damn,
that was good enough. I'm not going to complain. Free food, free beer. It was life's pretty good. It was great.
Yeah.
And it was on a Saturday too, And then after that, we went to the guy who invited me. We went back to his place later that night, saw some friends. It was just an overall great weekend. It's the little things in life. It's funny how you grow up and you just want the big things, but it's not about the big things. It's just about the little things. Just the little things. Just be able to say, hey, buddy, hey, man, how are you? Just a guy you grew up with. Hey, how's life? How's the kid? How's the wife? How's work?
Yeah.
You don't even really ask about work, but
that's why I do all the extra like hockey and softball, and why you do the golf. It's like you just got to have little things to look forward to, right?
Oh, 100%.
Circled in around all that other big things. Yeah.
Yeah, the big things they're all right. They're good, but
the
little things are what the little things are, and they're a lot of fun. I do want to give. How much time are we at right now?
31.
I want to give a shout out to everyone that was drafted in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League draft. But before I do the shout outs, I got the list of names here. Jeff wrote them down. I'm going to try to read them all off and not butcher them. The guys that didn't get drafted, because those are my guys. The guys that didn't get drafted. You're here with me right now in the High Button Sports Studio. I'm thinking of you. You're thinking the world's over. You're thinking life's over. You're thinking I'm not going to have any friends maybe. You're thinking I'm just a failure. I don't know what you're thinking, but I know I wasn't having a good week the week of the Quebec draft when I didn't get selected. Dude, it's not over. You're going to be fine. Use this as motivation. Squat heavier. Work harder. Work on your shot. Become a better skater. There's so many things you can do to work on to be on a Quebec Major Junior Hockey League team. And also you can look at this as another option of maybe you're not supposed to go to the Q. Maybe you wait a couple years and develop and then go to the NCAA. which I kind of at this point in my life wish I did. I think you can have a little bit more of a better story when it's all said and done if you go down to the States and play college. But just don't think that this is the end of your hockey career. A lot of you guys are, 15, 16 years old. You're so young. You have so much time to grow and develop as a hockey player. Use it as fuel. Use it as motivation. I know it's so cliche, but before you know it, you'll be 20 years old, and you have to think about it. What would you rather be doing between the ages of 16 and 20? Sitting around moping, going, I could have got drafted, but I didn't. Or you could think about this and be like, look, I'm better than each and every single guy that got drafted, and I wasn't even drafted. I wasn't drafted and played in the Q. The day I didn't get drafted, it was awful. Went for a run, worked out, just put myself through hell. But I didn't let it affect me. You just have to keep on working, and over time, you'll see these little steps of improvement in your game. And the next thing you know, you'll be on a Q roster, you'll be down in the NCAA, and you'll be killing it. So don't let this affect you. You'll be better off, and just know that I was in your shoes, and you'll be good. To everyone that was drafted, congrats. I'm going to try to list off these names. How many names we got, Jeff? Even these names over here, too?
These are just the Nova Scotians. And before we go, I would say we'd have commentated a lot of these guys at the QMJHL Cup last year. I'm pretty sure each and every one of them. So, little high button connection. Get in there.
High button connection. If I butcher some of these names, I apologize. Just know it's all love. What's it when you can't read that well? Dyslexic?
Yeah.
Dyslexic. I don't know if that has anything to do with reading names, but here we go. Cole Chandler, Owen Conrad, Luke Foley, Rory Pilling, Logan Roop, Brady Peddle, Drew Allison, Easton Schlender, Jacob Rhino, Ben Lindsay, Logan Quinn, Luke Sinclair, Cohen Stoddard, Kingsley Austin, Brandon Lavoie, Jack Hain, Connor Hain? Jack Hain. Sorry, Jeff was saying something in the back. If I don't say it right, just tell me. Connor Foston, Luke Legier, Luke Legier, Kenzie Wagner, Sam Madget, Landon Ryan, Jonathan Coombs, Maddox, Marmlek.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
And Tucker. Man, your
Tucker Makinen.
Your handwriting is getting worse as it goes on.
Yeah, I know that's kind of
your hand was getting tired. You could tell. And Tucker Makinen.
Yeah. And a special shout out to a couple of those guys. Chandler, Makinen, Rhino have all been on the High Button streams the past 2 or 3 years. A couple of former Bedford Barons, a couple Steel Subaru, a couple Dartmouth Whalers, Darcy as well. So shout out to those guys, especially.
Congrats to all you fellas. Well done. Keep working hard, because just know those kids that didn't get drafted, they're going to be working hard too, coming for your spot. So just know that. But congrats to all you fellas. That's awesome. I wish you nothing but the best when it comes to your success and your young hockey careers. Keep working hard. Enjoy your summers. And, you'll be just fine. That's the best feeling, though. Like coming into a summer when I got drafted into the Junior A draft. That was fun. Just knowing that there's like an organization out there that likes your game. It's a good feeling as a young kid. Because as you grow up, you don't really. Well, I guess maybe in Bantam. See, I'm still confused about how these U16, U13 division stuff works, and if you have to go to a team or if a team wants you there. That's very confusing to me. I try to keep my head out of it, but I know at this certain age when you get drafted and teams want you, it's a great feeling. It's cool. Yeah. It's almost like you're applying for a job, but jobs are applying for you. It's like, oh no, Jeff, I want you to come here and work for us. It's a nice feeling.
Yeah, you feel wanted. Everyone wants to feel wanted.
Yeah, you want to feel wanted. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But man, there's pressure. God, I remember walking in. So when I went to my first Mooseheads camp, I'll never forget this. I walk in, there's like the first day, there was like 5 dressing rooms because there's no cuts. So there's like, there's almost like 60 kids.
Oh yeah.
And I go up to the front. I'm like, hi, I'm Justin Belanger. I'm here to try out. And they're like, okay, yeah, great. Belanger, here you go. Room 4. I'm like, okay, great. Let's do it. So I walk into the room. And I'm like, okay, room 4. Perfect. Here it is. And I'm going, because everyone has their name on the locker. So I walk in. I'm like, all right, Belanger. No, Belanger. No, Belanger. No, Belanger. No. So I'm looking around. No Belanger.
Oh.
So first day, like when you go to these camps, you just, as much as you want to be seen, you don't want to be a nuisance.
No.
You just want to get on the ice, work your bag off, go home, make it. You don't want to be the guy going, hey, I don't see a Belanger stall anywhere. Dude, where do I sit? So I remember that. So then everyone was, the first day of camp, everyone's so busy. So I'm not going to bother anyone. So I just go to room 1, 2, 3. I skip 4, and then I go to 5 because I'm just looking for Belanger anywhere. So I go to all 5 rooms. There's no Belanger anywhere. So eventually I just asked the trainer. I was just like, hey, like, I'm Justin Belanger. Where do I sit? Like, I was told room 4. There's no, like, where do I go?
Yeah.
And even he didn't know.
No.
So I remember I stuck with room, I think it was room 4, whatever. And I pulled up like a chair. It was just like a chair.
Yeah.
Right by the washroom. I didn't even have a jersey. I was like, the trainer was like, hey man, I don't have a, because everyone's jersey was hung. So I didn't even have a stall. And it was just the worst, the worst way to, and like,
that's like nightmare fuel, man.
Oh, it was awful. And you go into the room and you see guys' names up there that are already like on the team.
Yeah.
And like in their stall, they have like a box of, 10 fresh or back then it was Bauer, fresh 10 Bauer sticks.
Oh.
And you see them come out with the sticks and they take them out of the wrapper and they're like, this isn't my curve. I don't like, and they're complaining about like the 10 free sticks they got. I don't even have a stall.
Oh,
it's just
would your face like red? Would you just beat red, or did you just try to like put it away in your mind?
You just got to put it away. You just have to. Honestly, you can't even use it as fuel. You're just like, you're embarrassed. You don't know anyone. There's a bunch of like kids from Quebec there.
Yeah.
You don't know any of these guys on the team. You know some guys on the team, but like maybe they're in a different dressing room. And I just remember it was in Cole Harbor Place. I don't know if you've ever been in those rooms, but they're not the prettiest. And there's just like a little corner right by the washroom. And the corner's not that big. So every time someone had to go in and take a piss, I'd have to like do the shimmy shuffle so they can get through the door.
Yeah.
And it was just bad. Just a bad first couple days. But so that first year I didn't make the team, but I made it all the way to the last cut. So I was like the 14th forward cut or something like that. So going from not having a stall to the last cut, I'll take that.
Definitely. Did they move people out so you got a stall like halfway through camp? Because like, you're like, oh, that guy just got cut. Let me just slide in here. You stuck with your chair at the washroom.
I stuck with my chair. At that point, I wanted to like stick it to them. Like I was almost mad at them.
Chip on the shoulder.
Exactly. I was
Definitely.
like, no, I don't need a stall. I'm going to sit right. Like I remember there was a point where a guy was like, oh no, we can just move you down to room 4.
Yeah.
But no, I'm on, because the rooms were divided up into teams.
Yeah.
So my team was dressing room 4. We wore the green jerseys. Room 1 wore the red jerseys. Room 2, so
the shitty practice jerseys.
Yeah, the practice jersey. So I was like, no, like this is my team. I'm in room 4. I'm staying in room 4, and I'm sitting in this chair. And I remember I used it at that point as fuel. Like after you get out there and you skate and you get a couple hits in, you joke around with your team, like you feel a little bit more comfortable. And by the end of it, the boys were like making fun of me in the corner. But that's what you want. You want to get chirped. That means you're accepted.
Yeah.
And that's maybe not today. They think it's bad. But, back then, if you got chirped and made fun of, like, boom, you're in. That's great.
Yeah,
because then you just give it right back. And I remember as kids were getting cut, the confidence goes. So kids are leaving. The trainer goes in and goes, hey, like Billy, Dean, Joe, coach wants to see you. And right away you go, boom, they're getting cut. And then as kids are going, that just gives you more confidence throughout camp. You go, okay, so I do kind of belong here. Okay, so at least I'm better than those 3 guys. And then you find out, okay, 9 guys got cut. Okay, now 20 guys just
Yeah.
got cut. Okay, now 40 guys just got cut. And it's basically the team. It did suck being the last cut, but going to play Junior A after that gave me a lot of confidence, knowing I'm 1 cut away from being on a Q team.
Yeah.
And then I had a really good Junior A year that first year, just from the confidence from
Definitely.
that first Q camp.
Yeah, because it's like if you get the first cut and you go to Junior A, like you're in the dumps. You're like, what are we doing here? But if you make that last cut, like those cuts are immense for your confidence. So by the end of it, you're just rolling into Junior A like I'm about to light this league up. And then you just ride that all season long and give it another go.
Yeah.
But if you're that first cut, you're battling that season.
Yeah. And it was cool because it was in my backyard. And I remember the guy on the team, Jared Grant, was on the team. And he was like a lock. He was on the team. And he lived in the north end. So all the practices were in Cole Harbor. And back when I was living at my parents' place, we had an extra car. But usually with the Mooseheads, they have like a billet guy that picks everyone up. Mm-hmm. But me and him, most of the billets, they live in Dartmouth and Cole Harbor. Me and Jared were the only guys over in Halifax. And when we had to start going to the practice, because training camp's like a month long.
Really?
Oh, man, it's long and grueling and not fun. And I remember when it came down to like the last, 20, 10 cuts or whatever, my dad went away for work, so there was an extra car at the house. So I got to get the car, and then I just went to go pick up Jared. Then me and Jared went over to camp together, and it made me feel better knowing that me and a guy already on the team were rolling to camp together.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
And Jared was a really well-liked guy on that team. He's the local guy, so everyone always kind of just went to him for advice for things to do in the city. He's just a well-liked guy in general, but it just gave me even that little bit more confidence going to pick up Jared than me and Jared rolling the Cole Harbor together.
Yeah, it's like when you go to a party and you don't know a lot of people, but you know one of the big dogs there, and you're kind of just like attached to the hip, and then the rest of the night you just like you get that respect because you know the one guy. You just whatever you can do.
Yeah, any advice for these guys, like the names that we just listed off, or anyone that's like an invite to go to these camps, just like find a way. Maybe you already have all the confidence in the world, so maybe don't take this advice if you're one of those guys. But I definitely didn't have the confidence rolling in. I had a good midget career. I was like a good midget player, but going into the camp, I just didn't have that confidence right out the bat. But find ways to gain your confidence quickly. And ways you do that is like, don't even worry about scoring. Just like get into the game quick. Give a hit, take a hit. I don't know. I don't want to say snow a goalie, but just like find a way to be involved in the game quick. Even I don't want to say take a penalty, but just like do something to get noticed quickly because that'll get you under your feet, and then you just start to realize that it's just another hockey game or it's just another scrimmage, because all these guys have been playing hockey their whole life, and they'll go into these camps and forget that they're just playing hockey with guys that are just a little bit quicker, the puck's a little bit harder, the shots are a little bit harder, the passes are a little bit more crisp, and sometimes you forget that because you see the Q logo, you see that the team logo, you see all these GMs up in the booth scouting you, and you get distracted by that.
Yeah.
So just find a way really quickly to get involved.
Yeah.
And find a way to gain confidence. And by gaining confidence, you just have to, make a mistake. Just, I don't know, just do something.
Yeah.
To remind yourself that you're a hockey player.
Getting like an intense board battle where like all the eyes are on you, but you don't take a penalty and you make like a good play, keeping it in the zone or heading in front of the net and like taking on someone in front, getting some shots low, some rebounds going, like stuff like that, right away. Just do things in your game.
One more piece of it. How much time are we at right now?
47.
So one more piece of advice I think is probably one of the better pieces of advice I was ever given that I'll give to you guys and girls. The next step of going to junior hockey is the step where you go from midget, whatever, and you're the best player. And you think you're going to go to junior and you think you're going to be the best player. Unless you're Nathan McKinnon or Sidney Crosby or whoever, you're not going to be that guy. So get on the ice, like I said, take a hit, but find your role. I'm not saying go out there and fight. I don't even know if you can fight anymore. All I'm saying is go in and find your role. If you are that first line guy, go for it. But I'm just telling you right now, the first line, the top 6 guys, as a young guy going in, it's gonna be tough for you to get there. So you're gonna be on the bottom 6. Find a way in the bottom 6 to become effective. Be on the defensive side of the puck. When you're changing, skate hard to the bench. If you have a teammate that scores, make sure that you're the first guy there to give them the old tap on the ass, say nice goal. Just make sure you find ways to be effective in a different role. And I know that can be tough because you could come from midget and put up 20, 30 goals, and that's, you think you're on the power play. But the quicker you get that out of your head and find ways to be effective on the fourth, the third line as a young guy, the better off you will be in that training camp, and the further you'll go. You might not make the team, but that's one thing I did. I knew I wasn't that top guy, and I just found little things, because those GMs, they're all hockey players. They all know how to play the game. They all know the game within the game. They know how to be in the right place at the right time when they played. So that's all you have to do. You have to be defensively smart. If there's a battle on the boards, make sure that your body's in front of your goaltender. Make sure that you're chipping the puck in. Make sure you're forechecking hard. Make sure you're not turning pucks over. I definitely recommend don't make any passes at the blue line. Like, just get it in. Just get the puck deep at the very beginning. Like, find your feet. Yeah. And just find your role and just find a way to be seen at the end of the day. If you go through there and those GMs have their meeting, all right, who are we cutting, this guy or this guy? If you're the guy that just wasn't seen compared to the guy that made a couple mistakes, they'll probably pick the guy who made a couple mistakes because at least he tried. At least he put his balls on the line and tried to do something. The guy that didn't really get seen, he's scared to even put his balls on the line to do something.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to try and make mistakes because, well, don't make mistakes all the time. But at the very beginning of camp, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just get out there and find your groove. And the only way to find your groove is to make mistakes.
Yeah, the worst thing you can be is unnoticeable.
Can't be unnoticeable.
And think about all those NHLers and guys in the sea. Any player who played high level, they were the best. Any of those guys at the Moose camp, they were the best player on their team. Growing up all the way, they scored goals at will in midget bantam, but not every team is going to be full of that. So, there's other roles to fill. Like, find your role and go get it.
And do the little things. Like, I remember, I shouldn't be giving, these are good little tidbits, but like, if you guys have a practice, make sure that you're the guy that's sticking around to pick the pucks up. Like if you're in the dressing room and like the boys are leaving, they're done showering, and you got to go, like, just do your 2 cents. And maybe if you see like a ball of tape on the ground, pick up that ball of tape and just chuck it in the garbage. You see a couple towels that like aren't in the bin, pick up the towels and like help the trainer out to put the towels away. And you just, it's not just on the ice at these camps. It's people talk, especially these coaches, GMs, and the coaches and GMs go to the trainers. And guess where the trainers are? They're in the room next to you. So I'm not saying if the trainer's there, suck up.
Yeah, make an ass of yourself.
And pick up tape and do that. But just be aware that it's not just on the ice that everyone's looking at. It's off the ice. It's how you show up to camp. Is the guy's shirt tucked in? Is he ready to go? There's just little things off the ice that count. And if you can make sure that you get noticed in that aspect, it can help for sure. Because a coach would rather coach an individual that's willing to learn, and rather than a guy who's stuck in his ego and doesn't want to pick up that tape or, pick up the towel that's on the ground or hang up his jersey in his stall. That's another thing. Make sure your stall's clean. Like, make sure if you get to keep your gear there, like put your elbow pads away correctly. Make sure your helmet's straight. Make sure you hang up your pants. Make sure you fold your socks at the end. Put them back nicely. Just anything to get you noticed. Anything. Literally anything. And you should, it'll help you go a little bit further. Anything. Yeah,
and you might end up with a Mooseheads Battle in Nova Scotia jersey hung up in your basement one day.
8 games played.
Yeah, all of this to say he had 8 games.
Yeah. But it's fun. Like, it's a great time of life. You learn a lot. Because, it's the first time where, not that my parents were like in my hockey career, but it's the first time where parents are no one's going up to Cam Russell going, hey, my son should be on the team. Like in midget you can do that, in bantam in every league,
definitely.
But junior, it's a first step of like being a pro. Essentially, it's the first step of you're only going to go as far as you can take yourself. No one's going to help you. No one's going to give it to you. So it's a cool lesson to learn at the age of 16 or however old these kids are going to camp. But
Yeah.
it's sick. It's fun.
Yeah.
And the glory's there too if you can win, especially in a city like Halifax.
Yep.
So we'll see. Is there anything else I'm missing? Do you want to give a shout out to your mom's book thing? Or you already did that?
She's rolling around. She's rolling along with that thing. But I will say Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal this weekend. We were talking about Canadian events.
Yep.
The F1 is in Montreal. They come every year at this exact weekend because it's the nicest weekend in Montreal, supposedly. So shout out to Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. Hopefully they can finally win, but probably not.
Man, that would be a fun weekend to be at. I'm jealous of the people that love F1. Like when I'm around people and they talk about F1 and the racers and the cars they're driving, they look like little children. Like they look so excited to talk about it. I don't have it in me.
I should have worn my Ferrari shirt today. I'm an idiot.
You should have.
I'll Photoshop it in.
It starts today?
It starts Thursday, but it's like this upcoming weekend is the weekend, Thursday to Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be on TV.
Oh yeah.
It'll be on like today.
Like it's today. Well, it'll be on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh,
Thursday.
today's Monday.
Today's Monday. Yeah.
Oh my bad.
But yeah, it's like this is their weekend for it. They always have it here, so it's sick too. Montreal. It's on the water there.
What?
The track. Yeah.
Oh, like old Montreal down there.
Yeah. It's unreal.
I heard it's going to Vegas too. Like they're going to be going down the strip.
Yep, this is the first year they're doing it on the strip. They just spent I don't know how much, but M's and maybe B's on redoing the entire strip roads, I think.
Just for this?
In preparation for it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's costing a lot of money, but F1's become westernized, so 3 races in the States, 1 in Canada. That's what it is. A couple in Mexico, I think.
Like I said, I don't really know much about it, but if you're a fan of that, I hope that you guys can enjoy it and watch your F1. I know the U.S. Open's on this starting Thursday too in Los Angeles.
Jeez.
Oh man,
you got to get out on the course. Come on, get rid of this little funk. Get out tomorrow and shoot a Crosby at least.
No. There's a rumor actually at Granite that he played there and he had a 1 foot gimme to shoot an 86, but missed it on purpose to shoot an 87. It's like a rumor.
Yeah, clubhouse lore.
It is.
Yeah,
it's like a rumor.
That's so funny.
If he ever comes on, I'll ask him.
Yeah,
but no, tons there's sports, man.
Yeah.
Is it bad to like sports this much?
No. Better to like sports than guns and stuff, I guess, right?
Yeah. Sports, is that a vice? No. There's nothing wrong with watching sports.
No, I'd say no. Our entire lives revolve around it, so
we turned
not.
out okay, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sports.
Big weekend in sports.
Sports.
Yeah. You going to any Jays games this year?
Are
you over that?
I don't know. I probably not. You? Or you're going up?
Yeah, 2 weeks going up.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be a good one.
That'll be good.
Yeah. Get out of, it would be weird not being on a work trip, though. It costs a lot more money when you're not on a work trip. I could say that much.
Yeah, you're making me pay for everything.
Yeah. No, it's...
No, you got to get out.
Fun.
You got to enjoy these times right now because as soon as August, September hits, we're flat out till...
Yeah.
I was saying this to my buddies I was golfing with the other day. They're in the landscaping business and they're just they're busy as hell right now, and they're basically explaining their life. They're basically explaining my life to me, but in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. They were like, in the winter I didn't do much because it didn't snow. They usually do snow removal, but it didn't, so they weren't busy at all this winter. And I'm like, that's kind of not that we're not busy. It's just I just need a minute to sit and think. It's just
definitely
there's a potential that we could be doing 10,000 games this winter.
Yeah, you never know.
You got to sit and you got to think. Not that I'm ready for it. I'm ready for war, but you got to calm before the storm.
Definitely.
All right, let's wrap this up. Everyone, thank you very much for tuning in once again. The support we get from this community is tremendous. We love each and every one of you. High Button Sports, I don't know what I'd do without it, but without High Button Sports, I know it wouldn't be successful without you. So thank you. I appreciate all those views, all the listens, all the clicks, the downloads, the comments, the shares, the likes, the whatever the hell you guys are doing to interact with us. Thank you. I owe you guys everything. All right, we're out. Peace. Have a good week.